Ease and Tolerance in Islam Part 3. Tolerance in relation to women in Islam. Women in Islam have their unique status, they are honored and given many rights. The Prophet said, the most complete of all believers in terms of their manners and faith are the best of them to their wives. Ibn Hibban he also said, be kind to your wives. Muslim. 1. The woman is given a dowry when she gets married. She may ask for whatever she wants and it is a duty upon the man to give it to her. Allah, the Exalted, says, and give the women, upon marriage, their bridal gifts graciously. But if they give up willingly to you anything of it, then take it in satisfaction and ease. 4-4. 2. Even if a woman is divorced, she is given her dowry. Allah, the Exalted, says, and if you divorce them before you have touched them and you have already specified for them an obligation, then, give half of what you specified, unless they forego the right or the one in whose hand is the marriage contract forgoes it. And to forego it is nearer to righteousness. And do not forget graciousness between you. Indeed Allah, of whatever you do, is seen. 2-237. 3. It is a duty upon the man to take care of all his wife's financial needs. It is forbidden for him to be harsh towards her. Allah, the Exalted, says, let the women, who are undergoing a waiting period, live in the same manner as you live yourselves, in accordance with your means. And do not harass them in order to make their lives difficult. 65-6. 4. It is the right of a woman to seek the custody of her child if she so wishes. Allah, the Exalted, says, and the divorced mothers should nurse their children for 2 whole years, if they wish to complete the period of nursing. And during that period the father of the child shall be responsible for the maintenance of the mother in a reasonable manner. No soul is charged with more than it can bear. No mother should be made to suffer on account of her child, and no father should be made to suffer on account of his child. The same duties devolve upon the father's heir, in case of the death of the father. 2-233. 5. A woman is to be given her necessities so that she is properly maintained. Allah, the Exalted, says, let the man of means spend in accordance with his means, and let him whose resources are restricted, spend in accordance with what Allah has given him. Allah does not burden any person with more than he has given him. Allah will soon bring about ease after hardship. 65-7. 6. The woman is given her fair share of inheritance. Allah, the Exalted, says, men shall have a share in what parents and relatives leave behind, and women shall have a share in what parents and relatives leave behind, whether it be little or much. This is ordained by Allah. 4-7. 7. When a woman is in her menstrual or postnatal period, she is not required to do certain acts of worship, she is not required to perform prayers nor is she required to fast. She is to make up for fasts missed in the month of Ramadan afterward. According to the prophetic tradition, Muwada said, I asked Aisha, what is the reason that a menstruating woman completes the fasts, that she abandons during her monthly course, but she does not complete the prayers? She said, we passed through this period of menstruation, and we were ordered to complete the fasts, but were not ordered to complete the prayers. Also, the woman is not required to perform the farewell circling of Hajj during her menstrual period. The Prophet said, the people were ordered to perform the circumambulation of the Kaaba as the last rite before leaving Mecca, except the menstruating women who were excused. Bukhari. 8. It is not compulsory upon a woman to fight in war. Said, O Messenger of Allah, we consider jihad as the best deed, should we not then go for jihad? The Messenger of Allah said, the best jihad for women is the accepted Hajj. Bukhari. 9. The woman is not obligated to spend of her own money on household matters, even if she has her own source of income. This provision is the duty of the husband. Tolerance of Islam in relation to financial matters. Finances are the lifeline of a community and very commonly an area from which a lot of contention between people arise. One of the aspects of the tolerance of Islam in this respect is as follows. 1. One is to be kind with his fellow brother when buying and selling. The Prophet said, Allah will have mercy on one who, when buying or selling, is kind and generous. Bayhaqi. 2. When one is unable to repay a loan, Allah instructs us to be understanding of the person's condition. He, the Exalted, says, and if someone is in hardship, then, let there be postponement until a time of ease. But if you give, from your right as charity, then it is better for you, if you only knew. 2-280, the Prophet said, whoever gives the one upon whom a debt is due time to pay it off, he would receive with each day that passes a great reward. Ibn Majah. 3. Islam asks that a person be generous towards others. The Prophet said, there was a person from a previous nation who didn't do any good except that he would send his servants to reclaim loans given to people in the community. When one of them was unable to repay, he would tell them to go easy on that individual. Allah then forgave that person on account of his generosity. Muslim. 4. Islam encourages one to reconsider his purchase if the seller feels sorrowful for selling what he has sold. The Prophet, whoever returns what he bought to a seller when he feels sorrowful for selling what he sold, Allah will cover from him his faults on the day of resurrection. Ibn Hibban. 5. If a sale is being conducted, the transaction does not become binding until those involved in the sale get up to leave the session in which the buying-selling was discussed. The Prophet said, the buyer and seller have the right to revoke the sale as long as they do not separate from each other. If they both have spoken the truth, they would be blessed in that sale, and if they have hidden faults, there will be no blessing in the sale. Bukhari. 7. A sign of the tolerance of Islam is its beautiful system of inheritance. Allah, the Exalted, says, Allah instructs you concerning your children, for the male, what is equal to the share of 2 females. But if there are only daughters, 2 or more, for them is 2/3 of one's estate. And if there is only one, for her is half. And for one's parents, to each one of them is 1/6 of his estate if he left children. But if he had no children and the parents, alone, inherit from him, then for his mother is 1/3. And if he had brothers, or sisters, for his mother is 1/6, after any bequest he may have made or debt. Your parents or your children, you know not which of them are nearest to you in benefit. These shares are an obligation imposed by Allah. Indeed, Allah is ever knowing and wise. 4:11. 8. A sign of the beauty of Islam is that one is to give a gift to those who are present when money is being divided. Allah, the Exalted, says, and when other relatives and orphans and the needy are present at the time of division, then provide for them something out of the estate and speak to them words of appropriate kindness. 4-8. 9. A person may bequeath a certain amount of his wealth after his death. Al-Mir bin Sa'd said that the Prophet would visit me while I was sick in Mecca. I told him, O Messenger of Allah, I want to bequeath my entire estate for the sake of Allah. The Prophet said no. Al-Mir then said, then a half, and the Prophet once again said, no. He then said 1/3, and the Prophet agreed, but added, 1/3 it is, but 1/3 is still too much. It is better that you leave your heirs rich so that they would not ask people to support them. Bukhari.